This beautiful movie tells the heartwarming story of Jake, who embraces his role as the chief of the Omaticaya tribe. His heart brims with joy as he cherishes his loving family, including his beloved Neytiri and their precious children. But his family extends beyond blood ties. Jake proudly shares, "Aside from my children, Neteyam, Loak, and Tuk, I have also embraced 2 more children into my life. One of them is Kiri, the daughter of my dear friend Grace, who tragically passed away after giving birth to her. Despite this sorrowful loss, Kiri found solace in our family, becoming an inseparable part of our lives. And then there's Spider, a child of humanity. Years ago, when humans briefly inhabited our planet before returning to Earth, Spider was left behind. Since then, he has found a loving home with us. These children, bound by their shared experiences, find immense joy in each other's company. They play together with boundless enthusiasm and wholeheartedly care for one another. Their bond transcends biological ties, reminding us that love knows no limits. Jake imparts his extensive knowledge to his children: archery, fishery, and more. Their joy knows no bounds, basking in the bliss of their lives. Yet, one night, a radiant white star captures Jake and Neytiri's gaze. Drawing near, they realize it's the spaceship of returning humans, seeking to inhabit their beloved world again. The spaceship's fiery exhaust sparks a jungle inferno, claiming lives and causing irreparable damage. Humans emerge from the craft, enclosed in massive robotic suits and operating colossal machinery that crushes all in its path. Overwhelmed with sorrow, Jake and Neytiri can do nothing but shed tears at the sight of such devastation. They ponder why humanity seems to have forgotten its essence. Regardless, the scene shifts to a laboratory, where a familiar blue-skinned figure, bearing an uncanny resemblance to Jake and his family, finds himself in a state of uncontrollable aggression, engaging in combat with those around him. As attempts are made to restrain him, he is reminded, "You are Colonel Miles Quartitch, a human. Following your demise, we have utilized advanced technology to grant you a new body, allowing you to thrive on this planet. You will assimilate with the native people, so there's no need to worry." The presence of other individuals, resembling the local inhabitants, further signifies the replication of this transformation. In a courageous act, Jake and his comrades sabotage the train transporting weapons and supplies for the humans. Mounted on their flying creatures, the humans become vulnerable after their helicopter is destroyed, and Jake's group seizes the opportunity to claim the spoils. Learning of this significant setback, the Colonel, recognizing Jake as the leader of the resilient jungle-dwelling people known as the Shipwrecked, devises a plan to eliminate him. However, a senior officer reminds the Colonel of the futility of previous attempts to penetrate Jake's jungle, as their flying creatures have consistently thwarted such endeavors. The officer imparts hope, urging the Colonel to rely on him as a beacon of possibility. Together with a handful of companions, the Colonel ventures into the jungle, where Jake's children are innocently playing. Sensing the approaching humans, the children swiftly inform their father, but before they can react, they are captured. In a heartbeat, Neytiri arrives, her bowstring taut as she releases an arrow, piercing the skull of one of the assailants. The clash commences, with Neytiri skillfully liberating many of her kin, yet the Colonel seizes Spider, the human child they had embraced as their own. Neytiri's heart fills with worry for her child, but Jake resolves that they must abandon their sanctuary. As the chief, he bears the weight of the Colonel's relentless pursuit, knowing that it was he who ended the Colonel's life when the first humans arrived in their midst. In this twisted turn of events, my very existence in this avatar body has made him yearn for my demise. If we, along with our entire family, depart from this land, we can safeguard the lives of our tribe from impending danger. Spider, burdened with the knowledge of our whereabouts, is on the verge of revealing our sanctuary to humans. Neytiri initially resists but ultimately agrees to the heartbreaking decision. Meanwhile, the humans subject Spider to cruel torment, relentlessly demanding the location of his home. Yet, this brave soul refuses to surrender any information. Eventually, the colonel intervenes, halting the torture, and acknowledges Spider's humanity. Extending a hand of friendship, he claims to be Spider's biological father, confessing that during his previous visit to this world, he intentionally left him behind, wishing to sever their connection. However, a newfound sentiment has surfaced within him, compelling him to rectify his actions and bring Spider back to their realm. The innocent child, swayed by the colonel's words, reluctantly agrees to guide him. On the other side, Jake and his family bid farewell to their tribe, mounting their loyal flying creatures, and embarking on a journey far from this land. Their hopes rest upon discovering a new place where they can forge a fresh beginning, a place they can truly call home. Seeking refuge, they find solace with the Omaticaya Reef People clan, located on Pandora's eastern seaboard. The inhabitants of this place possess a striking green hue. Initially, the reef people mock them, commenting on their slender tails, thin arms, and more. However, Chief Tonawari arrives, reminding them that they are children of the jungle and need not confine themselves to the water. Despite their lack of expertise in aquatic survival, Jake asserts his determination to learn and emphasizes the importance of the reef people's support in ensuring his family's safety. Eventually, Chief Tonawari relents, permitting them to stay. The following day, the children living with Jake are accompanied by their newfound friends, exploring their surroundings. In a moment of curiosity, Loke connects his hair to a creature, causing him to unintentionally float in the water. Amidst laughter from the onlookers, he experiences a comical tumble. Another day dawns, marked by some of the local children taunting Kiri, subjecting her to mistreatment and constant annoyance. Responding to this injustice, Kiri's brothers arrive, defending their sister and engaging in a confrontation with Soraya's brother, Aoning. They question his behavior, asking why he would speak ill of their sister. However, upon learning of the situation, Jake admonishes his son, questioning his actions and urging him to apologize to Aoning. When the apology is offered, Aoning remains resentful, harboring a desire for revenge. He proposes taking Jake's son to a supposed haven, intending to deceive him. Aoning and his companions cunningly lure him into the perilous domain of a treacherous sea predator, intentionally leaving him stranded. As the young one finds himself isolated, a menacing Tulkun emerges from the depths, launching a vicious attack that plunges him into a struggle for survival. The creature relentlessly assails him, its jaws threatening to consume him whole. Desperate for a glimmer of hope, the unexpected arrival of Payakan, another Tulkun, disrupts the deadly encounter. With a swift motion, Payakan seizes the attacker in its powerful jaws, delivering a resounding blow against the unforgiving stone, bringing an end to the threat. Meanwhile, Loic, incapable of breathing underwater, succumbs to the depths, succumbing to a watery demise. As his consciousness flickers back to life, he finds himself cradled atop Payakan, the savior that has preserved his existence. Loic perceives that Payakan, too, bears wounds from the ordeal. In a profound gesture of gratitude and compassion, he tenderly removes the spear lodged in Payakan's body, granting the creature solace. This act forges an unspoken bond between them, as Payakan graciously carries the young boy back to the embrace of his family, their hearts forever intertwined. Upon learning that his own son, Aoning, purposefully abandoned our guest in the perilous domain of a sea predator, Chief Tonawari reacts with righteous anger. However, Loke steps forward, shouldering the blame, acknowledging that it was his own idea to venture into the treacherous waters. His revelation leaves Aoning consumed with shame, realizing that he had intended harm and saved the life of someone who had done no wrong. Over time, their initial animosity transforms into a genuine friendship, forged through understanding and forgiveness. Loic eagerly shares his encounter with the rest of the group, proudly proclaiming that it was the courageous Payakan who saved his life. However, his tale is met with disbelief and mockery from his peers. Despite the doubt cast upon him, undeterred, Loke seeks out Payakan once more the following day, finding solace and joy in the presence of this extraordinary creature. Their bond strengthens as they engage in playful interactions, reveling in the pure connection they share. The relentless pursuit of Jake by the Colonel continues, driven by a desperate quest for information on the whereabouts of Jake and his family. Despite the lack of precise details, the Colonel remains resolute in his determination, even taking control of some of the flying creatures used by the local Navi people. In their search, they arrive at an island inhabited by indigenous tribes who claim to be unfamiliar with the individuals depicted in the images shown to them. Doubting their honesty, the Colonel cold-heartedly kills one of the tribe's creatures. Spider, trying to reason with his father, explains that these people are harmless fishermen and possess no knowledge of Jake's whereabouts. The Colonel reluctantly agrees, but in a display of his ruthless nature, he sets their dwelling ablaze as he departs. Continuing their relentless rampage, the Colonel and his forces mercilessly assault innocent indigenous tribes, their inquiries yielding no information about Jake's location. During their harrowing encounters, they encounter a Tulkun. Armed with iron chains, small missiles, and an ultrasonic gun, they unleash a barrage of attacks against the creature, incapacitating its ability to defend itself. Helplessly, the Tulkun floats in the water, accompanied by its young offspring, which has never posed a threat to humans. Racked with pain, the Tulkun succumbs to its injuries, leaving its innocent offspring adrift. The humans, consumed by a twisted sense of victory, cheer with misplaced triumph, believing they have achieved their mission. Witnessing the unfolding atrocities, the Colonel's son is overwhelmed with anguish, unable to bear witness to such cruelty towards the defenseless creatures. The humans capture the Tulkun, forcefully taking it with them. Inside the creature's mouth, they employ a drilling machine to create a hole in its upper palate. A yellow fluid, a precious water-like substance that grants prolonged life, trickles out. This elixir slows down the aging process, providing extended years to those who consume it. The value of this liquid is exorbitant, worth millions of dollars. The following day, news of the Tulkun massacres reaches the ears of the Neytiri, and their anger turns towards Jake, holding him responsible for the arrival of the humans and the subsequent slaughter of their beloved creatures. The impending danger looms large, with humans not only targeting the Tulkun but also posing a grave threat to the Neytiri people themselves. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Tonawari proposes a plan to confront the humans head-on. Meanwhile, Lok returns to visit his dear friend, Payakan, only to discover a peculiar device resembling a transmitter affixed to its body. This device immobilizes Payakan, rendering it unable to move freely. It becomes apparent that humans intend to hunt down more Tulkun in their pursuit of acquiring the precious life-prolonging liquid. Now, it is Payakan, a majestic and formidable creature, who is the target of their relentless pursuit. With their young son and fellow clan members by their side, Jake and his family align their path with Payakan's as humans close in on them. From a distance, the Colonel silently observes the unfolding events, his intentions veiled in mystery. Realizing that their children are in grave danger, Jake and Tonawari grab their weapons and hastily embark on a mission to rescue them. Amidst great challenges, the children manage to remove the transmitter device from the colossal monster. As a result, Payakan breaks free and swims away, ultimately saving its own life. However, the relentless pursuit of the humans continues, with bullets whizzing past the children. In a critical moment, Saraya finds herself on the brink of death, but Lok, summoning his courage, grabs her hand, swiftly turning towards the danger to shield her from harm. In a selfless act, he manages to save her life. But their respite is short-lived as the humans swiftly trap the children in a massive net and transport them onto their ship. Meanwhile, the parents of the captured children arrive at the scene. Jake's heart sinks as he witnesses his bound children on the deck, under the control of the Colonel. The Colonel proposes a heart-wrenching ultimatum, demanding that Jake come alone onto the ship if he wishes to ensure the safety of his children. Realizing the gravity of the situation and driven by a desire to protect his family and the entire community, Jake makes the difficult decision to face the challenge alone. Just then, Lok forms an unlikely bond with Payakan, emerging from beneath the water's surface. With the strength and agility of the mighty creature, Lok launches a fierce attack on the people aboard the ship, wreaking havoc and destruction. Witnessing this unexpected turn of events, Jake and the Metkayina Reef people seize the opportunity to retaliate against the humans, uniting in a collective assault on the ship. The ensuing clash between the humans and the Metkayina Reef people is intense, resulting in significant casualties on both sides. Lives are lost, sacrifices are made, and the struggle for survival reaches a fever pitch. Payakan leaps over a small ship of humans, swiftly overpowering them by ensnaring them with an iron rope. Amid the chaos, Jake valiantly fights his way toward the captured children, liberating them from their captors. Neteyam and Lok locate their brother, Spider, and together they make a desperate escape, saving their own lives. However, tragedy strikes as Lok falls victim to the relentless conflict, leaving Neytiri consumed by grief, her anguished cries echoing through the turmoil. The Colonel, relentless in his pursuit, once again seizes Jake's two children, using them as bait, eagerly anticipating Jake's arrival to orchestrate his demise. Undeterred, Jake approaches the perilous scene with utmost stealth, triggering a powerful explosion that engulfs the surroundings in flames, resulting in the demise of numerous human adversaries. Neytiri, her eyes filled with both rage and sorrow, unleashes her arrows, forever silencing a multitude of enemies. The pain of losing her son is evident in her gaze. Seizing a momentary opportunity, the Colonel places a knife against Kiri's throat, demanding the surrender of their weapons. Yet, in a surprising turn, Neytiri intervenes, pressing a knife against Spider's neck. Faced with this unexpected reversal, the Colonel is forced to release his hold on her daughter. Finally, a fierce and intense duel ensues between the Colonel and Jake, both locked in a battle for survival. Overcoming immense challenges, Jake ultimately prevails, his grip tightening around the Colonel's throat, rendering him powerless. The cruel Colonel begins to drown, but his own son emerges from the depths, saving him and bringing him ashore. The Colonel acknowledges his debt, having been spared when Neytiri held the knife to his throat. When the Colonel pleads with his son to join him, the young man rejects him, venturing toward his family instead. Overjoyed by his return, Jake's family embraces him with love and happiness. With a heavy heart, Jake lays his deceased son to rest in the water, reminiscing on cherished memories of cradling him in his arms since his birth, now confronted with the painful reality of bidding him farewell. And so, the story of this film concludes, leaving behind a profound impact.